Hello all of my internet friends, and welcome today to episode 9 of my StarSector Let's Play for new players. I'm Sika Roma, and we're following on from the last episode where we just created our first colony. I was explaining some of the mechanics around the colonization and the setup of structures, specifically how you should queue them, what you should look for, how imports and exports work, things like that. Following on from that episode, I think we should keep going, but we should hold back on colonizing more planets for the moment. We are going to be spending a lot more money very soon on more structures for our first planet, and to keep going we need more money, and to get more money we can either commit bounties or do contracts, or we can go exploring for juicy treasure. And so once you have your first world, you can start to use this as your base to keep all your equipment, your ships, and it becomes now your de facto home base. It is a very nice thing to have. So, let's say you want to start making money. Where should we look first? We'll probably take a look at bounties, see if anything's come up in our area. Unfortunately, not really. If we zoom out, we can see that there's one all the way down here that expires in 5 days, a couple more up here which we will definitely not be able to get to in time, maybe this one, but the amount is too small so it doesn't matter. There's a pirate base here, we could go and destroy that. In fact, maybe that might be worth doing at some point just because it might eventually start attacking our colony, but it's not too much of an issue now. Besides, I'm not sure if we have the combined firepower sufficient to take on a space station just yet. So that leaves, in my opinion, just exploration, which you sort of want to do anyway, because as you expand you want to build more colonies, you want to get better and better planets. It's not worth it to just take any world, really. You don't want to deal with horrible planets. You want to find the juicy golden Terran worlds with that 75% hazard rating and that rich ore deposits. That will make you all the money and get you all of the cool ships later on. So, I'm going to continue my little explorations, navigating down this little corridor of space called the Estrella Nebula. I probably will not get to the very end, as probably along the way I'll come across something that will require me to head back. But at least now, if I do find anything, I can head straight back to Agriope, resupply, head out again, it'll be fine. And because Agriope, once it gets its spaceport up and running, it'll begin importing things like fuel, supplies, etc. I can then in turn borrow those from the resource stockpile. It'll still cost money, but it's better than having to travel all the way to the core worlds to grab those supplies. And actually, whilst I'm on the topic, it's a good purpose to eventually queue up this particular structure here. This is good for every planet that you intend to visit, so planets that are far apart from each other, like your first world. The way station's role is that it stockpiles supplies, fuel, and crew. And it puts it up to quite a high level, I believe. It's about 1,000 or 750 per population on the planet. So you still have to pay to withdraw them from the planet, but if you need those supplies, you will have a very large amount of them available to you, far more than would be available to any standard market. So, once I have the spaceport up and running, I'm actually going to queue up the patrol HQ and then the way station. I want all these patrol and the way station up and running, and then we can proceed from that point onwards. Anyway, I'm going to head out. In fact, yes, okay. I was just spotting something. I thought it was something interesting. So I'm going to head off. I'm going to head off down to Bascule and then to Erebus. If anything interesting happens or I find anything good, I'll come back to you in a moment. Have a great time, guys. See you in a second. So it looks like Erebus has got a few different planets, at least one. We've got a few options in which to enter. I'll take this gravity well. It seems to be the furthest away from everything else, so maybe there'll be something nice there. And just as the jump finishes, I'll toggle going dark. And there we go. Ooh, interesting. So let's see. Got a pirate beacons here. Okay. There's probably a pirate base in this system. Let's do a quick sensor scan. Nothing came up, so nothing close to us. We can do the remote survey for both the planets. Okay, perfect. So let's take a look at Garn whilst we're here. So it is still habitable, but it's hot, with tectonic activity, and it has lots and lots of dangerous things on. Okay. Well, let's give it a survey. Wow, okay. So we have lots of organics, good ore, lots of rich ore, excellent farmland, and ruins. It's not a lot of ruins, but this might make actually a good third planet instead of the other world, considering it has plentiful organics and rare ore. And the hazard rating is actually quite low. And then we can use it to produce food as well, which will be very handy. Yeah, that sounds good. I wish we could clean the biosphere a little bit, but that's beyond the scope of our little fleets, I think. Excellent early find. Now to explore the system a little bit, we'll see what we can find. Maybe some treasure, some resource caches. I don't think we'll find anything particularly amazing in a pirate system though. You know, I just forgot, or rather just realized that I forgot, that I didn't search the ruins on Garn, so I probably want to see something. Oh, okay, transmitter's fried. And now we are getting this, if you notice from the skill, the salvaging skill, a plus 15% bonus and 15% bonus to rare items. So this is why I want to maximize that salvage skill early on, because it means we'll get more of these rare blueprints or valuable AI cores, things like that. So let's see, what do we get? Ooh, what is this? Low-tech blueprint package. So, okay. So this will allow our faction to fabricate any of the low-tech ships, such as the Enforcer Destroyer, which we have in our fleet, the Lasher Frigate, which is the bullet hose, or the Dominator class heavy cruiser, which is... it looks sort of like a man with two strong arms if you strap lots of cannons to him. So I will learn that right now. My faction could definitely do with that, and I might actually want to fabricate some of those ships later. And I'll also just take all the supplies as well. Perfect. Well, good thing I went back for that. And whilst I'm here, I think I'm going to take this nav buoy. Maybe I can attract a pirate fleet to come and take it back at the same time. I can grab those for a little bit of extra skill points. Thank you. Let's see if anybody appears. Oh, and one's already started making his way here. We can stay dark and we can intercept him perhaps. Oh. So we've got two fleets actually. Let's just get in his way. Hello. How are you today? Oh, we got both the fleets actually. Perfect. Nice, easy little trap. Let's mop them up in combat, shall we? My ship, the carrier, the destroyer. And I'm really not sure about this ship. But we'll throw this in as well. And all the frigates, I think. Maybe the shuttles too. A little bit overkill perhaps. But good for now. And let's see, where is what? Okay, so I would like the carrier to focus on the shuttle. I'll take on the heavier ship. Destroyer can take on the other heavier ship. I'll let the frigates do their own thing. They've got this hammerhead and a destroyer here as well. Actually, I'll move this. Oh no, actually, command frequency is not open at the moment. Okay, I don't want to get too close to the front line. Until my other ships come to help. And there are all the drone fighters getting destroyed. But it looks like the pirates aren't doing so much better. All those red symbols in the top left. Perfect. Yep, so they cleaned up a little bit. He's actually had enough, he's going Perfect. A little pirate mini destroyer. Not very good if it doesn't have any shields though. A shuttle versus a destroyer. See how that turns out. Okay guys. Oh. Ah, you got him in the engine. Unfortunate. Okay, I don't need all you frigates down here. Prioritize fire strike there. Go for you to take him on. Actually, you two can help as well. And the destroyer can go for this drone tender. Tickle tickle. Bang. And we'll send them all up to there. With maybe you going to join. I try to prioritize my fighter squadrons to go after small ships like shuttles, mainly because those ships are so fast you couldn't catch up to them, but the fighters can make do with their less defenses that they have. And all that's left is a little drone tender. Unfortunately, they are not good for combat, so that answers that. They managed to escape with two of their officers' ships, but that's okay. I can pursue those, and I'll use my second in command with a bunch of frigates. I'll finish them off. Let's see what we can recover. Hooray! Nothing of value. I mean, if I just wanted ships, I suppose I could do something. But this would require a hull mod for makeshift shield. Same for this one and this one. And this is a civilian grade kite, so I'm not a fan of that either. Let's just grind them up, shall we? Nope. Continue and pick through the wreckage. Anything of value? Heavy mortars, Vulcan cannons. Well, it's more ordnance for the home world at least. And I'll take all the supplies. Oh, and they even spat out the drone tender. There's a little bit of debris. I'll take him. And we'll salvage this debris field for some extra treasure. Oh, another ship. Wolf class with a bit of damage speed. Huh, okay. I think actually I'll add this one because the deployment cost is going to be quite cheap, so even if it's not the best, its only combat disadvantage is its top speed is reduced a little bit, and the shield flux, which is not too bad really. It will impact my sensor profile quite a bit, whilst not giving me much of a bonus to anything else, but it's still nice to have another frigate. I'll take that. And more junk. And we'll do one more salvage rather. Oh, autocannon. But that's a large mount only, so not so useful right this moment. And we got a level up, and the spaceport was complete, so let's go to our colony. So a quick shortcut to that is press D, or command down here, and your colony is up top, and go to your colony. So now we have the spaceport, so our accessibility is much better. We're able to import and export now, which gives us extra trade value and allows us to import all the goods required for the colony to function, which is perfect. What this also means is with the spaceport constructed, I can do two things. I can first designate the planet as a free port. What this means is that effectively it's not a pirate haven as such, but it's definitely we will not, we don't care so much about illegal goods that much. And it gives us a few advantages with a big disadvantage later on. So the first is a minor disadvantage, which if you see here from the status text, it will give us a -3 stability. So that's just a little bit less defense, less fleet power, but this will be offset once you have defenses and structures built, as well as skills later on. This is not really the big problem. But you get, in return for that, a massive increase to population growth and accessibility, which means that your colony will grow a lot faster without needing for you to put any money in through growth incentives. And the larger the planet is, the more it'll produce, as well as the base amount of income will massively increase as well. So it'll take it from a little 9,000 credits to 100,000 to 200,000. It'll become ridiculous. And at the same time, it'll also mean that your exports improve. So you get more of a market share, you get more money for your exports, as well as, I believe it reduces the... Oh no, you see it just says market share of exports. So it doesn't affect the import prices, but it does affect your export prices, which is very good for making money as well. And it also makes it so that you can import and export illegal items and make money from those as well. So at the moment there's nothing that is allowing me to export drugs, but once my population improves, it will begin to produce its own drugs, I believe. There's a few other structures that will also produce drugs, but they're not going to give you a lot of income, it's just a little bit on top. Don't worry too much about that. And what do we get in exchange for all these amazing little benefits? Well, the colony at the moment is nice and small. It doesn't matter too much to the galactic community as such, but later on, once the colony is a lot larger and exporting drugs like factory grade, yes, they'll all start noticing. And then factions like the Hegemony will send military expeditions, as you might have seen in some other videos. These expeditions can be quite large, and they're not just there to say no, they are military invasions for all intents and purposes. They'll attack your planet, they'll bombard it, they'll damage it, they might even take it over. That's, I believe, only happens if you really, really let things get out of control. But in general, if you don't protect the planet, the military expeditions will set it back quite a bit. It's like a really bad pirate raid. But for the moment, we don't need to worry about that. The colony's not large enough. It's not going to be noticed for a long time. And if it is noticed, I'm going to be very unhappy, because I'm not going to have any way to defend against it just yet. Okay, perfect. Let's move on. And now we've got our skill points to contend with. We've got 2 points, which we could use for a variety of different things, but I want to use for salvaging. I want to get that level 3 plus 50% resources, and a little bit of the 10% post-battle salvage. What this would give us is massive improvements to making money from early scavenging. So when we go looking through research stations, we might find far more rare blueprints than we would ordinarily with this skill. And I'll go there, and I'll get level 2. Perfect. So, what next? We have taken out a few pirate fleets. There's a pirate station somewhere around here, probably near this planet. But I don't think we have quite enough firepower to take it on, even if it was just on its own. We don't have any truly heavy-hitting ships just yet. I could bring out my flagship from storage, but I'd much rather prioritize making money at the moment than taking out the pirates. If the pirate base starts to bother our colony, however, I will definitely bring it out of storage. For now, though, we can make use of our little frigate. I can do a little refit, given that he's not in good condition at the moment. Just send him an assault. And he'll repair over time. Perfect. So I think I'm just going to transverse jump out, and I'll move on to the next system. Erebus. Perfect. And whilst I'm on the topic of, well, planets, this spaceport also allows us to build structures, specifically the way station and the patrol HQ. And I need to get the patrol HQ up as soon as everything else is done. But I also desperately need the way station. This is a very essential structure if you have planets that are far away from any other the core worlds, because what this structure does is it has no little bonus other than the accessibility, which is not that great. It does stockpile fuel, supplies, and crew. And it stockpiles it in the colony's resource stockpile, so you still have to pay the Enderman fee to withdraw it, but it stockpiles a lot of it. I believe it's roughly 750 of each per population on the planet, so going from 3 onwards, it can store up to a few thousand of these. It's a very handy thing to have, given that the cost for you to withdraw those supplies is not that expensive, and it saves you travel time. You don't have to go all the way back to the core worlds. You can go back just to your planets just to withdraw those supplies. It still has to import those goods, so you want to eventually start manufacturing themselves, or else the upkeep costs will begin to get a little bit crazy. But in general, it's not very expensive. It's worthwhile to build as soon as you can. I'm going to wait in the meantime for the ground defenses and the farming to be built, and then maybe I can move on and build the patrol HQ, followed by the way station, because I estimate that I'll be heading back to core space very soon with some treasure, hopefully, possibly. And as we arrived at Erebus, we get a medium warning beacon, so we can make a little quick save for this just in case and see what we've got, because a medium system can have some heavier remnant fleets. I'm worried about that. This one looks like a tundra planet, and this one looks somewhat like a desert world. Okay. Let's try going in dark onto the inner jump point and see what happens. Oh, okay. So we've got some patrol drones. Okay, so these are the larger fleets, but they're not impossible to destroy. And a lot of planets. Barren, rocky, cryovolcanic, tundra. Tundra might have something of value. The rest might just be the usual. And there's a lot of stuff over here. I'm guessing this is a debris field, perhaps? A bunch of derelicts? Whoa, I don't like that. What is that? Oh, that's a lot of derelicts. I have a lot of dormant ships as well. Oof, okay. I think I probably want to not get everybody all riled up just yet, because then these ships will overwhelm us. Let's see if we can do a bit of scavenging on these. Anything of value? Nope. Oh, a bit too quick there. Fortunately, the dormant ships will not relay my location to the active ships, so as long as I avoid the active ships, I should still be okay. In the meantime, I can salvage. Oh, a drover. What's its condition? Glitched array, compromised armor, increased maintenance. But it's... yeah, that's not going to be the best. I'm not going to like that maintenance cost, I think. Salvage you. Keep going. Oh, what are you? Overdriven destroyer. Okay. A glitched array and compromised armor. But this ship in particular doesn't even have a lot of armor, so it doesn't matter that much. It's a little bit slow, well, slower, thanks to the reductions, but I like this one. I like this ship a lot in my normal games because of its frontal weapon, the large energy beam, or cannon, which can just chew through things. So I'm going to recover him. And let's see the stats of him. Moving to the front, refit. He's got a mining blaster. And another mining blaster. Oh, 3 mining blasters, okay. Let's see what the autofit throws up. I do not want to do safety overrides. Nothing amazing. At least we gave him reinforced bulkheads. And actually I could stick my officer in here, I think. As this, I believe, is a much better ship. The speed is definitely an improvement. Yeah. Actually, no, I think I'll reverse that decision, owing to the fact that this ship is not fully equipped and mining blasters are not my favorite kind of weapon. But it's still nice to have. Oh, let's keep going. Location of a derelict ship. And some organics. Not very handy though. Another drover. Oh, he's looking for something. Transmitter was fried, fortunately. Take those. And a Cerberus combat freighter. As salvage. Drugs, okay. Oh, I'll take drugs. Supplies and the last relic. Well, derelict. Junk, okay. So now, let's see. If I reveal myself, I can maybe pull away this fleet and engage that on its own. I'm not sure if I engage it here, I would then have to contend with all these other ships too. So, let's try. I think I'm going to try luring away this ship. Oh, there's even some stuff around here. Perfect. Oh, he's pursuing me. I wonder if that capital ship is what he's thinking he's good at. Okay. Well, it's just a bunch of drones with a drone ship cruiser, so should be okay. I think I'll deploy my heavier cruiser. He'll make a good frontline ship against that. Okay, let's see. Okay, I want my big ships on the big ship. Everyone else can deal with the smaller ships. Perfect. As for the carrier, let's put him onto the heavier ship. Keep your distance. Oh, jeez. Come on. Don't get that close. Oh, wow. What was that? Yeah, they're all hiding close to him as possible. But once we can get them out, we can deal with it. And I want to take control to launch some torpedoes at him in a second as well. What is this? Those are missiles? Interesting. Okay, what is going on here? Come on, you guys can't pick on him like that. It's bullying. Yeah, that's much better. That's bullying. That's proper bullying. Some control. Torpedoes ready. Come on. Come on. There we go. Ah. Yes, got one in. Perfect. Send back to automatic. See what's going on here. What's he doing? I'll let her full out assault. Is like wobbling around. This is why I like drone fighters. Just that sheer amount of little lasers can overwhelm small ships. Perfect. Good Hosey. Oh no, I do not want to lose the Lasher. He's gonna escape? Oh no, drone ships don't retreat. Yes, he's not gonna try and escape. I want you to retreat though. Where'd you come from? Hello, I said retreat. That's a nice little short-range missile barrage. Perfect. Finish him, thank you. Assume control here. Got no missiles left. Yeah, you want to stay out the range, don't you? Okay, I'll count this second. I'll finish it in the second. Oh. It's still taking a while. This is a very sad exchange of gunfire. Everybody else is trying to catch up. Come on, you can do it. Go on. Come on. Finally, here come the fighters. This is becoming silly at this point. Thank you. So that little engagement dragged on a little bit longer than I hoped for, which means that the combat readiness of a couple of my ships has declined quite a bit. Fortunately, my larger ships weren't too affected. I need to figure out a way to keep these guys in the fight a little bit longer. Maybe get an officer in them with a skill for that. But we did take out all their ships, and we did lose a few in the process. These wolves did not do as well as I was hoping. So let's pick them back up. And we didn't even get an AI core for the trouble, really. Oh well. Oh well. Oh, there's a little bit of debris there. I didn't see that. Scavenge that. Spark LPC. Better version of the Wasp. And one more salvage. Okay. We'll grab the weapons cache. A sleeper pod. And we get a new officer. Perfect. And a lot of treasure. Oh, I like this a lot. What have we got? So we've got a blueprint to manufacture phase lancers. I'll learn that. Cyclone repo launcher. Very handy. Longbow wings. I'll take that. The claw wing. Oh, those are one of my favorite heavier fighters, because they have EMP, which means that even when they're hitting an enemy, even if they don't do a lot of damage, they're still disabling its systems. And the Thunder Wing, which is not as good, but it's nice for our ships to be able to build them at least. And Graviton Beam. Okay. That might be something I could... Oh wait, no, maybe a wolf ship could use that. I'll take the rest. This is the mining pod. Perditions, piranhas, okay. So. Looks like there's a lot of treasure around here. So, unfortunately we're going to burn through nearly half of our supplies, and we're crew under strength at the moment. So I think we're going to have to be considerate about what we're going to be doing next. I definitely would like to do a little bit of salvaging, see if I can find some more treasure. Then I need to do my levels up and set my officer. Okay, what What's this? A class tanker, okay. We can recover it. But compromised storage with an erratic fuel injector and increased maintenance gives us a fuel tanker that isn't very good at being a fuel tanker. No thank you. But it did have a lot of fuel on it, so I'll take that. And get away from the star as quickly as we can. Okay. Black Fang. Oh, that's interesting name. Surveys are a bit pricey for this, Will. Okay. I'd like to keep my supplies for the moment. But maybe we can find some other treasure. There's something floating up there. Let's go take a look. Maybe it's a research station. We can only hope. Ah yes, character skills. And let's get level 3 for that extra little bit of salvaging. And now, let's see, we should think about trying to either make our fleet more powerful or more economical. So this one would be quite handy to have. I think I'm going to focus on making my fleet more powerful, as it's demonstrating that I'm not doing so well in combat at this point. So I'll go with loadout design, and then I'll try and max this out so that my ships in the whole fleet have better across the board ability to absorb and fight for longer. Perfect. Oh, and it was a research station. Fortunately, I just noticed I got caught in a solar flare there. Not very nice. Oh, okay, let's see what we can find. So now we have that amazing 50% salvage bonus with a 50% bonus to rare items. So look at all that extra treasure. That's just what I wanted. Perfect. So we've got a Prometheus blueprint, Claw Wing blueprints, Perdition Wing blueprints. I already know the Claw Wing, so I can sell that for profit. I already have a Synchrotron core, so I can sell that for profit too. Perdition Wing and the Prometheus, I think I'll learn those. And then we've got Converted Hangar, there we go, perfect. Now I can turn my mules into little fighter carriers. Solar shielding, I don't really know what the purpose of this is. I'm not exactly going to be going into stars intentionally. And the rest is very nice. This is all going to be a nice excellent resupply. Take all, get out of this Corona as fast as we can, and salvage for a little bit of extra treasure. And excellent, we get a nano forge. So I'll probably sell that. Yeah, we don't need multiple corrupted nano forges. Plasma cannon, I'll take all. And one more salvage. Nothing of value too much. Perfect. And let's get out of here. Burning through all my supplies very fast. Okie doke. I think lastly I want to go check out the Tundra World. Maybe actually I'll grab the sensor array first, then hit the Tundra World. This world might have some good ruins on it, and at least this will let me be aware of anybody trying to snipe me on the way there. On the way there, this little rocky planet had debris field. Just a little bit of extra resupplying, and a little tanker as well, which might have some nice fuel for us. Yeah, a little bit of fuel, not too bad. How about Tesh itself? Oh, let's survey that, see what we find. Not a very good planet. And onwards I continue. Okay, we'll bring the sensor array online. Gives us a forewarning about anything. Oh, what is that? A few things. Remnant Nexus. Oh boy. Okay, so we've got a few contacts. Let's go take a look at them. Might be some derelicts. This little Hound class ship. Anything of value on board? Address for a supply cache. And nothing else really of value. Now I'm probably going to regret this, but let's go take a look at that Remnant Nexus. I know that it can't come after us, but it probably has a lot of things around it. Oh, actually, I think by the looks of it, just a debris field. Okay. Salvaging. And now let's do our surveys. Come on, treasure. Ruins, perfect. And it's a class 5, so that gives us an extra 30,000 credits just for surveying the planet itself. And it's also decivilized. Unfortunately, it's not much good for anything else. It's got a good hazard rating, but apart from organics and farmland, maybe we could use it to strip out the ruins. That's about it, really. Let's see what the ruins give us. Oh, a couple of starships, actually. We got another scarab. I think, yeah, we'll take the scarab. His systems aren't too bad. Actually, I'm looking at that. Across the board, he's slower and weaker. Yeah, I'll skip that actually. What else? We get a few blueprints. We got the pirate ones. We can take the armored weapon mounts and everything else. Very nice. And what about Rana? What do you have? Some more ruins. Hooray. Unfortunately, the planet itself is not very good in terms of anything else. So let's see what we find. Quantity of Volturnian lobster. And a gamma, or beta core. That's not too bad. That's an extra, I think, 90,000 credits. I'll be happy with that. And the lobsters. Actually, should look at dumping some of our metal, because we're beginning to fill up on that now. Take everything else. And now, let's see what this remnant nexus is like. The combat analysis system churns for a few seconds and then beeps angrily instead of producing the tactical recommendation. Oh boy. What do you have? Okay. Hullmod, vast bulk, targeting supercomputer, shared flux sync, but it doesn't look like it has shields though. At least according to this analyst. Okay. Let's see. No, actually, I remember fighting these things. I'm going to avoid this, but I'm going to be glad that I know it's here. So, we'll come back to this station with a proper combat fleet later, because that is going to have a lot of treasure, probably. In the meantime, we'll finish off with the Starliner, and then I'll end the episode. Oh, pods, okay. 400 crew. Well, that solves my resupply for crew problem. And actually, whilst I'm here, let's look at the officer I got. So, Day Olympus. And you have focus of missiles. Okay. So what could put you on? Maybe this? No, actually... Put you on a frigate, I think. Well, thank you guys and gals for watching this video. I hope these series continues to be educational and informative to you. I know that I'm sometimes making some mistakes. You want to yell at me at the screen or you see things. I understand that feeling completely. That's why for this particular episode I've already done a couple of takes for it. It's trying to avoid letting too many of these mistakes coming through. Especially one instance where my entire fleet went exploding due to a slight, I guess you could say, tactical error on my part. But for now, things seem to be going well. I hope you all are doing well. Thank you all so much for watching. You're extremely wonderful, as my favorite YouTuber would say. See you around the next video. Have a great evening, everybody.